Hello and welcome back to this channel Comic Books. Today, we will be doing a recap of a DC Universe visual novel called The Flash Rebirth. Let's talk about the story of the novel. Everything changed when the original Wally West returned, emerging from the time stream when his uncle Barry Allen aka the Flash remembered him. Now the speedster hero of Central City recalled that there was a reality before this one and that some unseen force is manipulating the memories and realities of the people around him. He doesn't have much time to dwell on this when a sudden Speed Force storm grants his powers to dozens of everyday people. This includes police detective August Hart and Star Labs scientist Mina Dowan. Is this the work of the criminal organization The Black Hole or the newly emerged speedster villain Godspeed? Chapter 1. The story begins and we see two forensic scientists in Central City investigating a murder case. Despite DNA evidence proving the accused man's innocence, the head scientist insists on altering the evidence to relieve the media pressure the police department is facing. The head scientist tells the other scientist to check the results again. The other scientist says that he has already checked it 4 times but it doesn't match. The head scientist says to the other, has he checked the rap sheets of the man? Public exposure, sexual solicitation, and the fact that the man lived in the apartment next to the girl's apartment. The other one says that the DNA wasn't of that man and he didn't kill that girl. The head scientist says that man is guilty of something. The victim was a 20-year-old girl who came to the city with hopes of achieving her dreams, but she ended up dead. And then he asks the other scientist if has he seen what the news was saying. The other scientist says that he has. The head scientist says that the chief was under a lot of pressure to close this case, and because of that they are also under a lot of pressure to get this work done. So he should do whatever he can to match the results. The other scientist hesitates, but the head scientist says to him that he already told him this many times. This was how the Central City works, so he should hurry up and get it done. While the two are talking, a man wielding a spear with a lightning bolt-shaped tip closes the door to the lab and brutally murders both scientists. He rearranges several containers of chemicals on the shelves and, using the spear as a lightning rod, recreates the accident that first gave Barry Allen his powers on himself. He escapes from arriving police officers with a dash of super speed. The man's thoughts indicate that he is somehow responsible for Barry Allen's return and that it's the worst thing he could do to him. In Central City and Keystone City, Linda Park West announces that a huge celebration will be held for the return of the Flash. Celebrations are taking place in both cities, as well as in Gorilla City. Meanwhile, the rogues, Captain Cold, Weather Wizard, Mirror Master, Heatwave, the Trickster, Abracadabra, and Dr. Alchemy are shown to be preparing for the return of their nemesis. Different members of the Flash family react to Barry's return. At Justice Society headquarters, Jay Garrick recounts how Barry inspired him to return to superheroics. At Titan's compound, Wally West remembers Barry with fondness and respect. At Titan's Tower West, a newly returned Bart Allen views his grandfather's return with skepticism, admitting a desire for things to go back to the way it used to be with Wally as the Flash and himself as Kid Flash, as well as feeling angry that Barry is the only one to escape the Speed Force and Iris West Allen waits happily for her husband to come home. However, Iris receives a phone call from Police Captain Fry, who asks for Barry's help. Barry Allen himself is visiting the Flash Museum, where he meets with Hal Jordan. Barry is studying the exhibits to catch up on everything that has occurred in his absence. He admits that his memory from his time spent in the Speed Force is fading. Barry also reveals that he feels he wasn't supposed to come back, and that the Speed Force is trying to draw him back in. In Fallville, Iowa, 2 boys find the charred remains of what appears to be the Black Flash. The skeleton crumbles to dust as soon as it is touched. Back at the Flash Museum, Barry states that he won't be going to any of the celebrations in his honor. Barry feels that he can't waste time and appears obsessed with the notion of mortality. He dons his costume, commenting that he is going to be late. Hal asks him what he means. Before Barry runs away, he replies that the world needs him. Barry ponders on his return as he runs. In a flashback, it is revealed that Barry's mother was murdered when he was a child. Furthermore, his father is arrested for the crime. Barry's thoughts are interrupted when a hand materializes out of the lightning symbol on his chest. It belongs to the evil super speedster Savitar, who fully appears a moment later. Barry recognizes him from one of the Flash Museum's exhibits and gives chase. However, as soon as Barry catches Savitar, he receives some sort of feedback from Savitar's energy and the villain begins to decay and crumble into dust. As he dies, Savitar cryptically comments that Barry was the beginning, and he will also be the end. Barry is left shocked at what he has done. At the same moment, all of the heroes connected to the Speed Force experience a sudden, painful discharge of energy. This includes Wally West, Jay Garrick, Bart Allen, Wally's children, and Liberty Bell. Chapter 2. In the Balkan Mountains, Lady Flash conducts a ritual in an attempt to contact Savitar. She chants, "Who seek baptism by the fifth force, beyond strong and weak, electromagnetic and gravity, all of the sacrifice their blood for speed." Then she says his acolytes want him to return to them, the master of the speed force and her master as well, Savitar. Then she says that she begs him to bless them once again. She says that Savitar always liked when she begged him. Soon a bolt of lightning creates from the pillar and Lady Flash thinks that it was Savitar. She calls upon him and asks him to come back to them from the speed force, but the lightning created by the process kills her fellow cultist. And Lady Flash witnesses a series of images displaying Savitar's death at Barry Allen's unwitting hands. Meanwhile, Barry was looking at a carcass and he says that it looked like a crime scene, and soon Green Lantern also comes there. Green Lantern says to Barry that he didn't think that he would be able to catch up with him and ask him the reason for stopping. Barry advises Green Lantern not to come closer. Green Lantern asks him what was wrong. Barry says that his metal helmet was fine but his flesh disintegrated, meaning that he got disintegrated from the inside out. Green Lantern asks Barry who was he talking about. Barry tells him that he was talking about Savitar, and he says that Savitar worshipped the Speed Force, and he even created his speed cult. Then Barry says that as soon as he reached high velocity, Savitar took advantage of this and used him as a doorway to escape from his prison. Then Green Lantern says that was he talking about the same prison that he once was in, the Speed Force. Barry says yes. Then Green Lantern asks him, does it mean that Savitar was following Barry's footsteps to escape? Barry says that he did and it cost him his life. Barry then says he is not sure what happened, but when he touched Savitar, Barry stops there and says that he will leave all of this to Wally as Wally understands this all better than him. Then he says to Green Lantern that he should contain the scenes and tells him that he was supposed to meet Wally and the others at home for dinner. Green Lantern says to Barry that he should do that. He needs to spend more time with his family. As he was all this, Barry runs away from that place. After Green Lantern quarantines Savitar's remains, Barry hurries home to talk to Wally about the deceased villain. He sees a police car outside of Iris' house and flashes back to the day they first met, after the trial of Sam Scudder. It is also revealed that, even after his father died in prison, Barry never stopped investigating the murder of his mother in the hopes of proving his father's innocence. Barry arrives at Iris' home and meets with Police Captain Fry. Thanks to Wonder Woman and her government connections, the outside world believes that Barry has been in witness protection during the years he was missing. It is then that Barry receives a phone call from Wally and learns of the speed seizures the other super speedsters experienced. Barry and Wally race to Fallville, Iowa to investigate a mysterious lightning storm taking place over the town. They discover the remains of the Black Flash and try to figure out what happened to him. However, the pair are attacked by Lady Flash, her powers amplified by the sacrifice of her fellow cultists. As soon as Barry touches her, though, she disintegrates in the same fashion as Savitar. After Lady Flash dies, Barry's costume begins to transform. As Wally watches in horror, Barry turns into a new Black Flash. Let's preview the next chapter. In the next chapter of The Flash Rebirth we see, in Abracadabra's hideout, the villain is attacked by a mysterious figure who comments that there isn't room in this century for the both of us. The magical villain's fate is unknown. At Justice Society headquarters, Jessie Chambers is contemplating a statue of her parents, Johnny Quick and the original Liberty Bell. While being comforted by her husband Rick Tyler, an explosion suddenly occurs in front of the pair. An image of Johnny Quick materializes and begs Barry Allen not to hurt Jessie before vanishing. Stay tuned to find out more. And that's all for today, guys. Stay tuned to get more new videos. Stay safe and keep watching.